Hello everybody, Jaqueline Michelle here. In this video, we are going to be getting into giving ourselves breast massages. This is one of my favorite practices to do. I love doing it in the shower. I love doing it right before the majority of my self-pleasure practices. And it's also such a beautiful grounding technique that I use when I feel like my emotions are either blocked off or going all over the place. It really helps me tune in to anything that I'm really moving through, right? Because what do we do in the heart? We love through the heart. We show compassion through the heart. We have union through the heart. We find forgiveness in the heart. And there are so many of us that have this really big, this really thick block around this area of our body. And that might come from several things. It can come from abandonment, being heartbroken, being insecure, having low self-worth. And whatever it is, somebody has it to some degree. And no matter where you are in your relationship with yourself, this is such a beautiful thing that gives you access to really opening up, not only on a physical and an emotional level, but on an energetic level as well. And if you want to think about it like this, oftentimes when we get stressed out, we get really tense and we store a lot of emotion in various parts of our body, right? And 9 times out of 10, what does a human being tell you to do? Well, go get a massage. You'll be good to go. We're solid, all that good jazz. And oftentimes, whenever you do, you have the person massaging your feet. They massage your hands, your neck, your shoulders, your legs, sometimes even your glutes, but they oftentimes stay away from your breast, right? Which is not necessarily a bad thing, because I don't know how many of us would want a random person kneading and massaging our breasts, but that doesn't mean that you don't have an opportunity and you don't have access to really tuning in to this area of the body. So when it comes to our hearts, right, we store so much emotion here. And whenever you give yourself access to opening yourself up, you begin to give yourself this opportunity to be completely turned on, not only in the bedroom, but in your life as well. When you put down these barriers, when you stop running away from intimacy or vulnerability, or you say, you know what, I'm going to trust this, I'm going to allow my heart to guide me in this direction. How good does that feel? It feels almost euphoric, right? So that's why it's so important for us to really get into this part of the body. Now, in Tantra, we have positive and negative polarities in the body. So for men, their positive polarity is in their genitals or in their cock, and then their negative polarity is going to be in the heart. And for women, it's the complete opposite. So our positive polarity is in the heart, and the negative polarity is in the pussy. So when I say positive and negative, don't really think about it as good or bad. That's not what I'm meaning here. Think of it almost as like magnets, like you have a magnet and there's a positive and a negative, and then you connect it to another one. And that's what we do whenever we do microcosmic orbit breathing, or we're connecting with another human being. We're just allowing those parts of the body to find union and to find connection. And oftentimes when it comes to a woman allowing herself to open up, to feel connected in her body, to feel turned on, it's such a beautiful time to connect with this part of the body, her breasts, her heart, her energetic, positive center. So whenever you take a lot of time to connect to yourself here, you're giving yourself an extra little bit of time to just warm up, to open up, to become juicy, to become feminine, to become just open. I know I already said that, but that really is the only word that I can think of. You're opening yourself up to this yes, to this invitation to be entered, whether it's by yourself, by your partner, or by life. And when all of this energy begins to circulate and all of this energy begins to open up, what does it do? It sends a connection to your negative polarity, to your yoni, to your pussy, and it says, you know what? Yes, we are open in our emotions. We are open in our energetic center. Now it's time for me to open and receive on a physical note. And if you need to make sense of why it's so important to connect with your breast on more of a scientific level, think about it when you begin to breastfeed your child. Any stimulation that comes to the breast or any stimulation that comes from the nipples, it automatically releases a hormone in the brain called the oxytocin hormone, which is the bonding hormone. It helps you feel connected to your child, connected to your partner. And if you massage your own breasts, with that, you will also feel connected to yourself. So that's why I really think that this is such a powerful practice for every single woman to do. And not only that, it's really awesome to just clear out any toxicity, check in with lumps, and it's just a really healthy practice to do in general. So in this video, I'm going to teach you a couple different exercises, and we'll put it into a little sequence. We're going to start off with draining the lymphatic system, and then from there, I'm going to teach you how to begin outside of the heart and move that energy inwards before we get to the actual breast, the main course, the main entree of this really beautiful ritualistic practice, right? So whenever you begin, you're going to get yourself in a comfortable position, or just get yourself nice and relaxed. If that means you have to take a couple breaths, if you need to get a little bit more soap, if you're in the shower. I love doing this practice with coconut oil. It just makes everything run more smoothly and more slippery throughout myself. So once you get yourself nice and grounded, like I said, we're going to start off with draining the lymphatic system. So we're just going to get our palms and gently press it up against our neck. And this is just going to drain any toxicity, any energetic stagnancy, or anything that we're holding on to, whether that's on a physical, emotional, mental, or physical or spiritual level. And you want to do this really softly. It's not like you're digging your fingers into your body. You're just kind of bringing awareness with intention. Okay, I'm releasing, I'm coming into the body. And then from here, we're going to come into the collarbones, and you can just use the pillow pads of your fingers. And you're going to start in this little indention, still connected to the breath, and then very gently begin to move that out of the collarbones towards the shoulders. And you can do this a couple times, and really just take your time. There's no expectation. There's nothing. It's not supposed to look like anything. This is just you connecting to your heart center, connecting to your energy, connecting to your love, to your portal of receptivity, forgiveness, compassion. We'll do this a couple more times. One more. And then once we're done here, we're going to move to the armpits. That also holds a lot of adrenal glands. So you're just going to give it a little squeeze, a little tap moving upwards. And the reason that you would like to start here, you don't necessarily have to, but you're creating space to call more things in, right? So when you're releasing toxicity, whenever you're releasing emotions or releasing anything that no longer serves, you create more space for you to call in anything that does serve, like love or a relationship or money or whatever it is that your heart desires, right? And truly, whatever it is your heart desires. So you're just checking in with the armpits, lifting them up, applying a little bit of pressure. And then for me, anytime I like to do a self-pleasure practice, I really love to tease myself. Sometimes I am in the mood to just go straight to my breast or straight to my yoni, but sometimes it's super nice to remind myself that there is no rush to get anywhere. This is my body, this is your partner's body, or this is a body that you're sharing with somebody else. So really take your time. There's no rush, and building anticipation, building heat, allowing that water to really boil up is going to make the sensation and the experience that much more euphoric and allow you to be that much more present in the body. So even before we get into the breast, now that we've drained the lymphatic system, go ahead and just touch your hands and allow the fingertips to feel what it's like to touch the palms. Very gently caressing yourself, allowing yourself to touch the hands, and notice different textures. Notice the bones of the knuckles. Maybe you see your veins and you can feel them coming up just a little bit. And then from there, you can move to the wrists and to the forearms. Maybe you caress the eye of the elbow. Maybe you circle around the elbow. And then gently move up the bicep and the tricep. Maybe you even bring that energy back down, right? And I'm moving a little bit faster just for the sake of the video, but really take your time. And then whenever you're ready, you're moving to the opposite hand, coming to the forearm here, caressing yourself very softly, very softly. and you come all the way back up. And one of the reasons that I love starting with the hands even is because the entire body is connected. And what's an extension of the heart? It's the arms, it's the hands. So I really love starting here and then bringing all of that awareness, all of that energy in. And then for me, I also love starting at my waistline and very gently beginning to draw that energy up. I can even come in through the sides. I can circle my navel. And again, I'm just being very slow, very intentional with my body. And then whenever you feel ready, we're gonna finally get to the breasts, but we're gonna leave the nipples for last, right? So we're gonna place our palms on our chest and we're just gonna draw some of that energy down. And just caressing ourselves in this way, sending some blood flow into this area of the body. And then moving towards the opposite side. And you're going to do this a couple times, staying intentional with your breath, staying intentional with what it feels like to love yourself, to open yourself, to connect to yourself in this way. Now, for a lot of us, we may have to lift our breast up and then massage the underside of our boob as well, right? Especially if we wear bras with wires on them. You want to really open up the block that those bras create and just get some extra fluidity in there. Move to the opposite breast, massage the underside. When you're done with that, you can even cup the breast and continue to move that energy down in towards the nipple, towards the midline, center point of this beautiful organ of yours. Cup the other breast, move that energy down. One of my favorite exercises that I'm about to show you guys here is circling the breast outwards and circling the breast inwards. Now for me, I like to do on an inhale, circle out, and exhale, bring it in. And I really suggest that you start with the outward motion, because as you're moving the energy out, you can even begin to say to yourself, I'm releasing anything that no longer serves. So I say, I'm releasing toxicity, I'm releasing unhealthy boundaries, I'm releasing fear, I'm releasing insecurities, I'm releasing lack, right? And we're gonna move a little bit slower. Like I said, I'm going fast for the sake of the video. And then once you feel like you've really gotten everything up and off, then you begin to inhale up and exhale in. Inhale up and exhale in, and then you can say, I am calling in love. I'm calling in healthy boundaries. I'm calling in money. I'm calling in adventure. I'm calling in intimacy. And you can just continue like this to your heart's desire, literally imagining yourself creating this gravitational pull into your vortex, into your heart center, and then into your third eye so that you can visualize it and manifest it back out into the universe. This is literally one of my favorite practices. I do this one and this one almost every single day. I absolutely love them. And then you can squeeze the breasts in and squeeze the breasts out and squeeze the breasts in and squeeze the breasts out. And you can even sync this with breath. Beautiful. And then once you've massaged the entire breast, you feel open, you feel juicy, you feel connected. Or maybe if you're coming from a complete, if you're starting this practice from disconnection or numbness, then maybe you're feeling that. Maybe you're feeling anger or sorrow or just, a very uncomfortable emotion come up. Allow that to float through. Anytime that we're touching any portion of the body, whether it's through yoga, weightlifting, stretching, or tantric practices such as this, anything that comes up is totally valid, because whenever you're touching the muscles in the body or you're tending to the body, you're also touching the energy that has been stored there, which can bring up a lot of emotion. And what's really important for that is to continue with the practice. Literally move it away, brush it off your shoulders, and deepen the breath. Every single time you exhale, you're giving yourself permission to say, it's no longer in my vessel. So whatever you're feeling, whether it's super horny, super juicy, super sensuous, or just anger, rage, sorrow, stay with this practice and it will definitely transform the way that you feel. Now, when it comes to the nipples, there are two little practices that I love doing. There are a lot of women that feel numbness in this area of the body. Know that the more that you tend to the breasts, the more that you tend to the nipples, you're going to be sending a lot of blood flow here. And the more blood flow, the more awareness, the more circulation, the more pleasure, right? So staying really consistent with this practice is what's going to help you really feel fucking good in this area of the body. And the more that you practice it and the more intentional you are with it and the more permission that you give yourself to feel, you actually have access to experiencing an orgasm from the heart or from the nipples, right? So from here, I think of it of almost like spider legs. You're going to grab the nipples or your breasts, and then you're going to bring that energy in. Grab the nipples or the breasts, and then bring it in. So you're just bringing all that blood flow. You're directing the flow of energy, directing the blood flow into this part of your body, right? And then you can also go backwards, spreading it out, bringing it in, spreading it out, bringing it in. And then to finish the practice, you can use your palm or your pillow pads and then just begin to create circles and then just rubbing very softly, very intentionally to this area of the body. And it really shouldn't take too long. One of the reasons that I like doing this practice in the shower is because you're already washing this area of the body. You're already massaging yourself. And honestly, taking one of those self-care showers really just set the tone for the rest of the day. This is something that you can do for yourself. I highly recommend doing it before initiating your yoni egg practice, or doing a pelvic floor release, or just masturbating in general, whether it's with yourself or having sex with your partner. Fellas, if you want to try these practices out, please don't feel like it's limited to the ladies. You guys have emotions here too. You guys have blood here too. You guys have access to pleasure here too. So please don't think that this is isolated by gender. This is for absolutely everybody who has this portion of the body, which is, I want to say, all of us. So yeah, like I said, breast massages, opening yourself up to emotion, to vulnerability, to joy, to pleasure. When your heart is open, your pussy is open. And who doesn't want an open, juicy, happy pussy? And then to finish that practice off, you can connect that left palm to the chest. You can either have your right palm over the left, over the navel, or over your womb, over your yoni, and then just take a couple grounding breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Thanking yourself for moving this energy, thanking the body for being receptive. Thank you for the heart for just doing what it does, for circulating blood throughout yourself, for circulating energy throughout yourself, for being the omitting wheel of love, compassion, unity, forgiveness, whatever the heart means to you. Breathe into that. So yeah, my love, everybody. I hope that was super beneficial. If you guys try it out, let me know. On my OnlyFans, I am going to be uploading a video, a guided meditation on how to massage your breasts, and we will be slowing it down. So if you ever feel like you want, support or extra guidance, you can have access to it on there. But yeah, all my love and all of my light.